Hey you guys, it is Tuesday night, 5:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to do our cooking class tonight. But first, while we're waiting for people to jump on, I figured I would give an update on the pregnancy. Have not been avoiding that topic at all intentionally. Just wasn't sure how many of you are just watching for the cooking and don't want me to talk about anything else, so I figured I'd wait till somebody asked. Thank you, Kathy, for asking. So I will give an update. So this pregnancy has been really, really interesting because coming off the second trimester loss of the last baby in January, I just kind of feel like I'm holding my breath. And so like I held my breath until 12 weeks, and then now I'm holding my breath till 20 weeks because that's next week. And then I'll probably be holding my breath until the baby is born and is healthy and everything. I just think that's natural after a loss, but it's definitely made this pregnancy more of a roller coaster than what any of my other pregnancies have ever been. So that's always interesting. And then I also had some symptoms that were concerning me back in the first trimester that I didn't talk about here. And ended up digging into it deeper, and it ended up being my endocrine system having more issues again, which I had last time I was pregnant. So basically, I'm on some supplements for that, and everything went away, and everything looks great so far. At my last appointment, we went over all of my blood work, and all of that looked good. And then this is the 20-week appointment, and then I think two and a half-ish weeks later, I go in for my ultrasound, so that'll all be coming. Anyway, the state that I live in requires that I have an ultrasound because I've had a C-section prior, so they won't allow a natural birth without that. So, let alone a home birth with a midwife. So that's got to happen. Not exactly my favorite thing, but it's got to happen. So anyway, I can angle the camera down. You guys can see a glimpse of the baby bump if you guys want. It's actually like totally popped now. They're denying that there's definitely a baby in there. I don't know if that's the best angle or even the best color. Hang on. I'll move my thing to the side. There you go. There's the bump. So definitely popped this last week. All right. So that is your pregnancy update. I'm doing much better. I've been extremely tired, you guys, to the point where I don't even feel like cooking. But that seems to be going away. I'm starting to feel better, have more energy. About 3 or 4 days ago, I started like noticing that things need to be dusted. Whereas before I just didn't care. I laid down and took a nap and moved on with my life. So definitely starting to feel better and have more energy, which is good. So today we are making a new recipe. It is not my recipe, you guys. This is from Savory Nothings, just another blog. But I've taken her recipe, and I've completely altered it. I've removed ingredients. I'm going to do the little switcheroo I like to do on recipes, and we're going to make it anyway. So these are pineapple barbecue meatballs. I do have my own recipe for pineapple barbecue meatballs. It's up here on the channel if you're interested. But anyway, this is a different version. I typically reach for my canned pineapple zucchini in place of canned pineapple, but tonight we're going to go ahead and use canned pineapple from Azure Standard. If you haven't checked this out yet, this is really good pineapple, and also their canned corn is like the best canned corn we've ever had in our life. And I think the canned corn is like under $2 a can for organic, so check it out, okay? We're going to be using real pineapple chunks tonight. If you don't have this, you could do crushed pineapple, or you could do, like I said, if you have home canned pineapple zucchini, that will work as well. So, right before this class, I was looking into the ingredients. Oh, it was my anniversary last week, okay? So the flowers are there. Give you guys something pretty to look at. But I was looking at the ingredients, and I realized I'm almost out of molasses, and my Azure order doesn't come until next week. So it's been upside down in this pan just to harvest as much as possible out of the jar. I think we're pretty close to being as much as possible there. And that's going to be for the sauce. This is a super good recipe. So we are going to, let's see, what should we do first? We'll start the sauce first. So into the sauce pan, I have as much molasses as I had inside the house. It's supposed to be 1 tablespoon molasses. Now I'm going to be doubling all of this, you guys, because I'm going to be making a pan for tomorrow night for our family. So this should have been 2 tablespoons of molasses, but you guys can tell that that's not going to be 2 tablespoons. But anyway, it's fine. It's what I have for right now. So 1 tablespoon of molasses. I'm going to be giving you ingredients that serves 4 people, but I'm going to double it. So we've got the molasses in here already. I'm going to go ahead and add some more ingredients here. So we need Worcestershire sauce. You could make it if you're really cool like Kathy, but otherwise you can buy it from Azure Standard. Making it obviously is a little bit more healthier, but I still haven't done that yet. Let me get out a measuring spoon here. I'm going to shake this because it does have stuff that's settled down to the bottom. Okay, so we have 1 tablespoon of molasses. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire. I sure hope that this is coming through clearly because I've seen people jump on and off, and usually that only happens when I have a bad signal. So I'm hoping it's okay. All right. Next is the canned pineapple. So you can totally chop up the chunks if you want to. My family doesn't mind big chunks of pineapple. So I'm just going to do the whole can. Chunks and all into the pot back there. I'm doubling it. The actual recipe called for 1 cup of pineapple juice and 1 cup of pineapple. But I don't exactly know how much is in here, but it looks pretty close. Close enough for me. All right. So then to this, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of coconut aminos. This is my replacement for soy sauce. We're going to need a tablespoon here. I'm not sure there's going to be enough in this jar either, so I'll have to go grab my reserve jar. Just have to find out, because I need double. So we're looking for 4 for an individual batch. Ooh, there's going to be enough. Check that out. The first time I made this recipe, I'm going to admit, I thought, ooh, this is going to taste interesting. But it actually tastes really good, you guys. All right, we need 2 tablespoons of honey. You could also use maple syrup if you wanted to. But this is my favorite brand of honey. They ship all over the country. This is wildflower honey. It's raw and unfiltered. Of course, we're going to cook it, so the raw part doesn't matter. But it's really good honey and super affordable. This is prairieRockHoney.com. So 2 tablespoons of honey. I'm going to do 4 because I'm doubling the recipe. I'm just going to eyeball it. You guys hadn't already guessed that. There we go. Okay. Next is 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Okay. Let's see, trying to follow my directions. The next thing is 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Okay, and I'm going to get something to stir this with. If I can find something to stir it with. I was hoping for a whisk, but that might not happen. I'll use a fork instead. Okay, so we're going to turn this pan over medium heat. Just give it a stir. Like I said, if you don't want big chunks of pineapple, you could chop them up. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I will just take my immersion blender and blend it. I left them all in chunks last time, but it's more a preference, you guys. This is my fast version of chopping. That way I don't have to chop the pineapple. There's still going to be some chunks in there, but I got most of them. Or like I said, you could buy crushed pineapple, whatever you'd like. But it's just going in the sauce, you guys, so no big deal. I'm going to go rinse this off. I'll be right back. We'll do a recap on ingredients here in just a second. Okay, so to this saucepan was, let's see if I can find it. I've doubled these ingredients. I'm just going to give you the single. 1 can of organic pineapple chunks in juice. Juice and all went in there. We did 4 tablespoons of coconut aminos, 1 tablespoon of molasses, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1 teaspoon of ginger, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and the last ingredient is tomato paste. The original recipe, I've turned this over medium heat. The original recipe has you using like half of a can of tomato paste and then some flour to thicken it. So instead of that, I'm going to use a whole can of tomato paste. It gets it nice and thick. Perfect. I'm also going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 425 degrees. Start with one first. I think I'm probably going to need both of them though, because like I said, I've doubled the recipe. So this sauce is like barbecue sauce that's been like out on a date with Oriental type sauce that had a baby, you know? This is like their baby. It's really good. At first I was like, ooh, this is going to be weird. But it was good. I was so glad I went with it and did some swapping out and made it for my family anyway. Okay, that's one. I'm going to go ahead and get the second jar going. This is for me because I am doubling the recipe. Okay. I had a whisk, I would whisk it, but actually the fork works out pretty well, especially with the big chunks of pineapple. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of whisk it around with my fork here. And it's over medium heat. We're just going to bring it up to a simmer, and then it'll be ready. So the next step is to get our meatballs ready. So I am using 3 pounds of meat here. But like I said, I'm doing way more than what the recipe calls for. So the recipe calls for 1 pound of ground beef. I got 3 in here. So I went back and forth on this decision multiple times tonight. And I just decided I was just going to do it. So honey, if you're watching, I apologize ahead of time. I'm going to put an onion in there. The recipe calls for 1 whole onion. I'm going to try and chop it really small, because my husband despises chunks of onion in his food. I was going to do onion powder, but everyone else loves the chunks of onion in their food. And so we still love you, Jeremiah, if you're watching. But you've been overruled, I guess. That's what's happened. All right, I'm just going to dice up this onion to be nice and small. I'm going to move you guys over here to the other counter. And hopefully if I'm having trouble with my reception, it gets better because this is a secret spot. Okay. Just going to try and dice up an onion nice and small and put it right into the meat there. It will probably never be small enough for my husband, but it's going to be all right. Just in case you're new here, I'll tell you the story about my husband telling me I needed to stop cooking with onions. And so I secretly switched over to cooking with onion powder for a whole year. And one night he was sitting down to eat, I think it was scalloped potatoes or something. Something that had a lot of onion in it. And he said, "Oh, your food tastes so much better now that you stopped using onions." And so I ended up looking at him and saying, "Oh, honey, I didn't stop using onions. I've been using onion powder for the whole year." And he just looked at me and I said, "So the truth is, you actually like the taste of an onion, you just don't like the crunch and the texture, you know, the oniony-ness, especially raw onions." Oh my gosh. He would eat almost anything except for raw onions. So then I said, "Can I please bring back onions if I make sure they're cooked all the way or at least chopped small?" And so we agreed. This is back when we were newlyweds, you guys. Like 16 years ago. And of course he said yes, and I said, "Okay, good," because I missed chunks of onion. So anyway, that's a suggestion if you have children that don't like chunky things, don't like onion chunks or peppers or something like that. You could always put them in a food processor and add them to your recipe so it's like a puree, or find it in a powder and add it to your food. So as I said, we are baking at 425 degrees. I've got the magical sauce going back there in the saucepan. We're just waiting for it to come up to a simmer. It's going to bake the rest of the way into the oven anyway. I just kind of want the flavors to mix while it's in a smaller container. Okay, I finally minced it, honey. So if you're watching, it's... Oh, that's a big piece. Hang on. Quality control here. Quality. Oh, there's another one. Hang on. I must hold the ship for the onions. All right. The onions are going to go into my 3 pounds of beef. But like I said, if you're only doing 1 pound, you're going to want to reduce the onion. This is a huge onion. The recipe says 1 large onion, even for just 1 pound of meat, and I think that's a little excessive. All right. We're going to add the rest of the stuff to this recipe. I'm going to go wash my hands. Ooh, someone's commenting. I hope that means I'm coming through clearly. Hang on 1 second. I'm coming back. Okay, with clean hands. Hello, sorry I'm late. So glad to catch you live. Hey, Rhonda. I have 1 child. I have to hide the onions. I'm just glad that I'm coming through clearly because people have been like jumping on and off all night, and I just wondered if my video was even coming through clear. So thank you so much for commenting. That makes me feel a lot better because before you commented, I was standing here thinking, okay, if this video is not coming through clearly, then should I keep going? So thank you so much, Rhonda. Okay, so awesome. So this meal is so good. I'm so glad that you have arrived. Okay, so we've got, that's all the chopping there is 1 onion. And you could totally do onion powder too, but the kids and I kind of overruled Dad. So that's what happened. So it's the recipe calls for 1 pound of beef and 1 large onion. But like I said, that to me is a lot of onion. So I did 3 pounds of beef because I'm making some food for tomorrow. Hey, Julie. I'm so glad you guys just jumped on. All right. So then to this, the recipe calls for 2 garlic cloves. I'm just going to cheat and use garlic granules, about 1/2 teaspoon. I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'm doubling this, so my 1/2 teaspoon is going to look awfully large. That's okay. Okay, and then the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, which in my case would be 6 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, but instead of breadcrumbs, we're going to switch it out for a mix of almond flour and coconut flour. So this is a cool thing from Azure Standard. They keep buying land around them, and they bought a almond orchard. And so they have their stuff because they're converting it from traditional growth into organic. So while they're making the transition, it's not being sprayed or anything else. They sell everything at transitional, quote unquote, labeling, because they can't label it organic yet, but it's grown organically. Super cool. They have cherries available right now too that are transitional, so you have to go check that out. So what I'm going to do instead of breadcrumbs is I'm going to do 3 tablespoons, which is 1/4 cup, of almond flour. And then because I'm doubling it, I'm going to go ahead and do 3 tablespoons of coconut flour. But if you're just serving 4, you could do 1.5 tablespoons of each flour. Or if you have breadcrumbs, use breadcrumbs. That's fine too. I just don't have any breadcrumbs right now. My kids ate all the breads and didn't save any crumbs. Okay. And then we need an egg, which I'm going to be doing 2 because I'm doubling. Okay. I'm going to give my sauce a stir here in just a second as well. Oh, you guys, I made an amazing, I'll show you guys after I'm done mixing these. I made an amazing egg custard for me to snack on during the pregnancy. Oh my gosh, it's got all the good things in it. It's got egg yolks, it's got butter. Oh, so good. I'm going to stir this sauce back here. It's come to a simmer, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Because like I said, it's going to bake. And before I get my hands all nasty in the meat, I'm going to go ahead and lard up my pans. So I did want to throw a little notice out to you guys that I just put up another event for this Friday night at 7 p.m. I'm going to do a live Q&A. If you have questions you want me to answer, whether it be pregnancy, personal questions, questions about my kids or the farm or whatever, food questions, preparation questions, doesn't matter. You have any sort of question that you've always wanted to ask, but don't, you can put it either in the comments on this video or put it over on the community page. I have a post there with some people who have already put questions. And then I'm going to do that live Q&A. So if you can't make it to the live Q&A, post your questions either here or over there on the community page. If you can make it, great. Come and ask your questions and I'll answer them live. I was going to do a video where I pre-recorded it and answered the questions and then just uploaded it. But the more I got thinking about it, I love doing lives. I love being able to chat with you guys. And I want to open up the opportunity to people who all of a sudden notice we're live when we're doing a Q&A and they have questions that they just have never asked. So that's this Friday night at 7 p.m. Okay, so I'm just using lard. It's a healthy fat. It stays stable as you bake it, unlike Crisco and other vegetable oils. So I'm not using olive oil. I'm using lard. We're using traditional semi-solid fats. Okay, so now I'm going to get my hands nasty here. In with the grass-fed beef. Now, depending on how fatty your beef is, which usually grass-fed beef is pretty lean, you might have to add another egg. You just have to see how dry your meat mixture is. I don't know, it's still looking like a lot of onions. I apologize ahead of time, honey. I love those beautiful flowers. I chopped them really small though, so I'm hoping they cook. Oh well. I almost went with the powder. It's the thought that counts. My husband always says that, right? It's the thought that counts. So honey, I was thinking about not doing chunks of onion, and then I decided to do chunks of onion. Poor guy. Okay, so we're just going to roll little meatballs. Now, the original recipe says to bake the meatballs individually. Not happening here. I ain't got the time for that, so we're just going to roll these meatballs to whatever size you want. I tend to opt for the smaller ones because I have little William that eats and Bethany. They don't eat a ton, you know, and so if you were to give them like 3 of them, that would be huge and they wouldn't finish their other sides. So I'd rather have little meatballs and have children that finish all of the meat on their plate than to have meat that goes to the chickens. especially when it comes to grass-fed meats. Very expensive. So I'm just rolling them into little balls. They're probably like 1 inch to maybe a little over 1 inch in size. If you missed the beginning of the video, you're going to want to go back and check it out because I did a little pregnancy update and a baby bump showing in the beginning. So you'll have to go back and watch the replay for that. And as soon as I'm done rolling all these, let me get in the oven. I'm going to show you guys that custard. It just turned out so pretty with the pastured eggs. I made it because when I was pregnant with my last baby, William, 5 years ago, I had a condition where my hands went numb. And it used to be just at night, and so my midwife was saying to get a carpal tunnel brace for my wrists, and that didn't really help me. And then it progressed as my pregnancy progressed, and pretty soon it was not just at night. My hands were going numb during the day. And then for everything that I read, it was saying that it should disappear when the baby's born, but not in all cases. Well, mine didn't disappear when the baby was born, and it continued to be numb hands all the time until it was really hard for me just to pick up my baby. So eventually it went away, but now that I'm pregnant again, it's back. And I did some further research. And I'm just trying something out. This is not medical advice. I'm just trying it out with my own body. And I'm trying out consumption of more B vitamins through egg yolks. Because I forget what doctor it is. It's on YouTube. It's not Dr. Axe. It's somebody else. But anyway, he said that carpal tunnel and sciatic nerve, which I usually have that problem as well when I'm pregnant, are both caused by low B vitamins. And if you think about it, when you're pregnant, you need lots of vitamins. And so I'm just wondering if maybe I'm kind of picking the extra onions out, you guys, because there's so many. That was a big onion. I'm just wondering if I'm a little low on the B vitamins and that's what's causing my hands to go numb. So anyway, I made the custard because there's a ton of eggs in custard, a ton. And the eggs aren't like fully cooked, they're just like partially cooked to make it thicken. And so, anyway, I ate half of a small jar, like 4 ounces yesterday, and when I woke up this morning, my hands were half as numb as they normally are. I know that sounds funny, but like I could still feel my fingers. So they weren't as numb as, usually I wake up and I can't feel my hands at all, and it feels like they're like super swollen, you know, even though they're not. And so, anyway, my hands look normal, it's just I can't feel anything. So, when I wake up, it goes away during the day, unless I'm like trying to hold something for a long time, then it would probably happen again. But anyway, make a long story short, I woke up this morning after having half of a serving last night before I went to bed of that custard, and it seems like it was like 50% gone, which is awesome. I'll take that. It only took me like maybe 10 to 20 seconds to have my feeling come back in my hands, so that was good. That's a win in my book. But it is something that I'm trying to decide what's going on so I can supplement if it's something I'm short on, you know? So, anyway, if any of you guys have ever experienced that and you know what it is, put it down in the comments. That would be awesome. Otherwise, I'll keep you guys posted on what ends up happening, but I am on a prenatal, I am on emu oil, I'm on cod liver oil, I'm on all of the things. So, I'm making sure I take them all. Drinking raw milk, all the things. So anyway, I'm hoping for the best with the custard and that it ends up working. Because that would be a miracle. I want to like be able to continue with this pregnancy and like not have numb hands. Because once your hands are like numb, like even rolling meat is hard. It's really, really hard. Grabbing like little things is impossible. I just remember like struggling so bad, like not really being able to like change a diaper and like grab onto those like little adhesive strips. Oh, it was bad. So anyway, I made some custard yesterday and I'm excited. I'm hoping that B vitamins are where it's at. I'm just low on them while I'm pregnant. And we'll just have to see. Just have to see. So so far for the questions for the Q&A on Friday, I've got questions about homeschooling. So I'll be going over my homeschooling curriculum that I'm doing this year. Also like kind of how I plan homeschooling to fit into our busy schedule. That was another question. Also going to be covering supplements that I'm taking while I'm pregnant, which I kind of listed some of them off right now. And then I'm going to, let's see, what was the other question? There was another question. Supplements you're taking and nutrition during pregnancy, so I'll be covering that. How to handle picky eaters. We're going to be talking about that on Friday Live, so that'll be a good one. I know a lot of parents struggle with that. So we'll talk about that. And then I had a lot of questions about tooth healing, because there are a lot of people who are a part of this channel that are here for the tooth healing, even though my focus is on nutrition through food. My cavity healing videos have brought in thousands of people that like to hear updates and like to know where I'm at with my healing and have questions about their mouths. And I'm not at all a dentist or a doctor or anything like that, but I can just kind of guide them as what I've had in my own journey. So I had some questions, several questions actually come in to me. And if you have a question and you are not a Google person, you sure could email me. My email is always down in the description box below. My address is also in the description box below if you want to mail me something. Let's see what else is down there. There's all of my other links, and then there's also my Amazon wish list if you want to gift me something. All those links are down below. So anyway, we got that. There was another question. I got to think about what it was, though. Oh, kefir. How to make kefir and the difference between making kefir with store-bought milk and making kefir with raw milk. So we're going to talk about that. I feel like there was more than that. Got to think about that one. Not quite sure. I'm going to let you guys know how many meatballs this made, by the way. It's looking like it's going to be 2 almost full pans. Hey, William, I'm not quite ready yet, but I do milk. See how Mommy's got her hands in the meat? So you'll just have to give me a few minutes, okay?
I get
You're going to do what, buddy? What? Yeah, we'll have milk in just a few minutes. Mommy is picking through the onions to get all the meat out. For your dad.
what?
Yeah, because Dad doesn't really like onions, and this turned out to be way too many onions, even for 3 pounds. Apparently Azure onions are way larger than large onions. Alright, so I had all this onion left. It won't go to waste. I'll put it in a baggie and saute it up in the morning with my eggs. I'm going to wash my hands and I'll be right back. Don't touch that limb, okay? That's raw meat. It's not cooked yet, okay? I just have to add the sauce and I'm going to put it in the oven. We'll have our milk, okay? You want your milk bad, huh? Have you been waiting all day for your milk? Is that a yes? Yeah. Okay, so Mama's got to, I'm going to have to, how can we do this? I'm going to take a drink. And then I'm going to pour sauce over top of those, okay? And then we'll have our milk, I promise.
Now how you left it? You wait here.
Well, you just stay where you're at and I'll pour it, okay? I'm just going to reach over you. It'll be okay. So I'm just going to pour the sauce right on top of the meatballs here. Like I said, there's going to be chunks. Sharon says, great to see you. I am moving, so I'm busy still watching your videos, just not always live. Oh, that's nice to hear. Thanks for letting me know that, Sharon. I was actually wondering last weekend, I was like, last week when we had our last class, I was like, oh, Sharon wasn't on today. I actually like had a mental note. And I was thinking, I wonder what's going on in Sharon's life. So that's nice to know. Oh, I was going to count the meatballs. Now it's too late. Let's see, 4, 23 in this 13 by 9, and there's a lot more in the other one because I think I made these ones a little bit bigger. All right, there's plenty of sauce here because I love sauce. There's no point in making barbecue meatballs if it's not swimming in sauce. Okay, so that's the first pan. Now, I don't want you to move, William. I want you to stay right where you're at, and we're going to do the second pan, okay? I'm going to put the first pan into the oven at 425 degrees. Stay right there. Right there. It's okay. A little smoky.
Yeah, that way over.
Yeah, I made homemade pizza the other night with mozzarella cheese from goat's milk. And when I made the mozzarella cheese, I don't think I got all the way out, and so it like kind of overflowed onto my bottom of my oven, and now I'm cooking it off. So if you see massive amounts of smoke coming out of the oven, that's what it is. Alexa says, hey, your barbecue meatballs are weekly.
8, 9.
I took it away, hang on.
7, 8, 9.
Alexa says, hey, your barbecue meatballs are a weekly dish in this house. Oh, awesome. This is just a new twist. So, hey, Alabama, a good chiropractor that's good at adjusting pregnant women and children might be helpful. I have an amazing chiropractor, and he tried to adjust my wrist last time I was pregnant, and it didn't help at all. It's just the weirdest thing. It presents itself like a carpal tunnel, and I forgot what it is. If you Google it, Dr. Google Pants will tell you it has a special name when you're pregnant. It's not carpal tunnel, it's something else. Yeah, so we try adjusting my wrist at every appointment. I usually go every 2 weeks at the end of my pregnancy. And it just didn't touch it. Now, I'm going to move this to the oven, okay? So you stay right where you're at. So that was the perfect amount of sauce for both 13 by 9 pans. One is for tonight, the other one's for tomorrow. Okay, and that is going to bake at 425 degrees for 30 minutes. I'm going to wipe off the counter, and I'm going to get 30. I'm going to get William and I our milk. I'm going to show you the custard, so don't go anywhere. And like I said, if you missed the beginning of this video, I did a pregnancy update, a bump showing. All the details are at the beginning, so you have to go back and rewatch. And we have a live Q&A coming up on Friday night at 7 p.m. So if you have a question, you can comment down below and give it to me, or go over on the community page and comment over there, or show up live and ask it. That'd be awesome. Okay, I'm going to go grab the milk. I'll be right back. Hey, Alabama says it's probably not the wrist. Dr. John Bergman has some information on his channel about carpal tunnel. It's usually an upper spinal issue. Hey, fascinating. I'm going to have to, let me write that down really quick. For some reason I can't get the comments to show up after our live. So, anyway, Doctor, if I don't write this down right now, you guys, I will totally lose it. So just give me a second. Okay, I will look into that. I'm willing to try almost anything. Although I will say I think the B vitamins made a difference, but I will know in the next couple weeks. I'm going to do our milk, okay, buddy? Okay, why don't you say hi to Jackie? I bet she's watching.
Hi, Dad.
Why do you have to be so cute? It's like, I don't know. I'll go grab that stuff too. Whatever it's called.
No.
What's it called?
I
Oh, you want a different one? Which one do you want? Oh man, you want that much milk? That's a lot. Okay. Stand up, I got plenty of milk. I just hope you can drink it all.
I can't.
You can't? Okay. Should I do half full then?
Not that.
You need less? Or more?
Yeah, more.
More? Okay. More it is. This is Mommy's cup.
No, that out. I mean,
Oh, you need more than that?
yeah.
Okay, let's just show the people what's happening down here. So, this is Mommy's cup, for the record. So it's William's cup, but he wants me to fill it all the way to the top. See that? Alright, all the way to the top. You will probably have to pee in 30 minutes. Just make a mental note. Oh, there you go. He was gonna drink it without thinking. What a stinker. Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm gonna go grab some custard from the fridge, okay? That's not for you, it's for Mom.
It's for me.
No, it's for Mommy's baby. Okay, so here's the custard. So it's like kind of thick like a gravy, but then you put it into the fridge and like totally hardens up. I don't know if you guys can see that. Anyway, bright yellow because of the egg yolks from our farm chickens, which is super cool. The recipe I used called for 12 eggs. Or egg yolks. I put 18, I think, 18 or 20 egg yolks in there, and then some lemon juice. It called for a whole cup of sugar. Obviously, I didn't do that. I opted to swap it out with a little bit of honey. I didn't even do a whole cup, maybe a tablespoon of honey. I think that's it. And I just whisked it till it got over like really, really low heat until it got nice and thick, and poured it into jars, and it's delicious. Don't touch the burner, it might still be hot. You gonna finish your milk? All right. There we go. Oh, go back up to my comment on. Okay, hang on. Thank you, Hey Hey Alabama. Okay. Uh-oh, it's not on there. Hey Hey Alabama. I don't see it anywhere. Yeah, it's not on there. But I'll write that word down. Don't know how to pronounce it. Benfotamine? Not sure. Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, your comment's not showing up on my end. Sorry about that. I have no control over that, YouTube. So how was your day, William? Good milk mustache. How was your day? Did you? What did you do today?
Play cars.
You played cars?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? You helped outside. What did we do outside this afternoon? Do you remember? Went outside, but what did you do? Remember? We were digging up and pulling out all the metal on the farm.
Yeah.
It's a big project, but we're trying to reclaim some more pasture for our goats. And on the north side of our property was apparently where they put all their metal junk that wasn't burnable. And glass junk, so there's like old glass bottles and stuff.
Aquarium.
And a really old Model T that is not restorable. Just in case anyone's going to have any interest, it is not. The rust is so bad that if you push on it, it just crumbles. So that's not happening.
But we have a car.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's called a Model T.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in pieces and it's beyond help.
Even a glass.
Yep, there's one more piece of glass, isn't there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even a pie was in it.
Probably. Yeah.
No. So.
No, can't fix it. No.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, so there's, like, they tore down the old fencing at one point in time and put, like, all of the old metal, barbed wire, and hog fencing, and all the things, and just, like, kind of strewn it everywhere. Excuse you. Say excuse me. Say excuse me. Okay, you're excused. Anyway, and so it's just a big mess, and the grass, like for the last 40 years, is like grown up through it. So anyway, we're trying to claim more pasture to the north for our goats. Not that we're in desperate need of pasture, but we try to put them over there anyway without them getting hurt. So if we can just sort of like repile it so it's all ready to be loaded on a trailer and hauled out of here, that's what we want to do. So we were working on that today. Found lots of barbed wire, found lots of old fence posts with like really old nails in them, which is kind of cool. I love old stuff. So and then we hauled tree branches, didn't we? Did you help your sisters haul the tree branches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to? Oh, you don't need a rake. You're a boy, so that's what happens. Okay. Well, did you enjoy your milk?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for. Oh. Okay. Thank you for enjoying milk with me. I love you, son bun. Ooh, he's wiping it on my shoulder. I love you so much, even to be your napkin. Oh my goodness. What a stinker. I'm going to check comments one more time, you guys. Why are you wiping it all over me? Let's check. Okay, so, hey, Alabama, I'm just going to go and research that because, like I said, your comment is not up above for some reason. So, anyway, all right. Well, that's it. That's going to cook. I'm going to steam up some mixed vegetables to go with it and a side of sauerkraut. I had a question come in today about how often do we eat sauerkraut or something. And we try to eat at every meal, if we can remember, about a third of a cup per person. We use it like a vegetable side. And I didn't do this for years. We just ate it on a spoon. And then, I don't know if it was Farmhouse on Boone or somebody here on YouTube takes their fermented vegetables and uses it as one of the sides on the plate, and my mind exploded because sauerkraut is so affordable to make. And if you could like replace some of your frozen vegetables or fresh vegetables with sauerkraut, then it's like not only do you have a side, but you like have an entire boosting side as far as your probiotics and stuff goes. So anyway, we're gonna have that as a side. And then probably steamed vegetables, and then the meatballs is the main. So anyway, that's all there is to it. I will get next week's live up, depending on my Azure order, so I'll have to keep you guys posted on that, because that's going to be coming this next week. But don't forget about the live Q&A. Leave your comments down below as far as questions that you want answered, or over on the community page, or come live and ask them. That'd be a ton of fun. I hope to see everybody there. It'll be fun. That's this Friday night at 7 o'clock. So I'll see you guys then. You guys have a great night.